Hey there, Adrian. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 things that you can do today to help bring in more customers to your business. My name is Seleni McGregor, and I work with business owners across the state of Utah. Earlier, I spoke with Araceli, and they gave me the green light to send this over. So I just made you a quick custom video for you about your online presence and specifically how you're stacking up against your competition. I'm sure at this point you're most likely sitting there asking yourself, why would she be doing this and what is the catch? Well, that is a fair question. What I have found is that most local business owners are just too busy actually running their business, maybe swamped with payroll, helping customers, answering questions, dealing with employees and staying on top of jobs that many times learning how to leverage the internet to benefit their company just gets buried underneath all of the other to-dos. And let's be real, half the time the only reason you may not have hired somebody yet is because you don't know who to trust or know who is truly an expert. And that's exactly why I make videos like this. I have found that by giving people an easy free attack plan of actual things that they can do to impact their business for free, it has resulted in some of those local business owners still raising their hands and saying, hey, I like you, Seleni, can you please just handle this for me? So if by the end of this video you've liked what you've heard and can see that I've got a lot of tricks up my sleeve that can help your business, then shoot me a message back and we can chat. Or if at the end of this video you simply want to take this free attack plan that I gave to you and do it yourself, that totally works for me too. Now let's cover the 3 things that are going to set cutting edge pools above your competition. First is content, second citations, and third backlinks. So first up is content. So since Google isn't a human, it doesn't just know what you do. It needs to be told through your content. So content is basically going to be anything here that you can see here on your homepage that is highlighted. So this could be text, it can be pictures, what your pictures are saved as, what's behind the pictures. All of that can be considered content. Now, let me show you an example here of the images that I'm talking about. If we come up to here to some of these images, do a right click, save as, I can see what you've got the image saved as. So this is just a screenshot with some numbers, dates there. Let's try this one, same thing, screenshot with some dates. It looks like 12/18 of 2018. And last one, same thing here. So alternatively, this would be a great way to leverage high volume keywords. Again, by including those here in your detailed image descriptions. All of these things are things that the Google bots can read and basically get an idea of what is this business, what services do they offer, what areas are they targeting. All of that can help position you in the search ranking. And the goal is having unique and authoritative content. And you need to have enough of it to add in the right keywords and phrases that people are actually going to be searching for in Google in order for somebody to find services that you offer. Sorry, I got a little tongue twisted there. Most business owners know that they do need content, but what they don't know is that usually in order to rank number 1 on Google for like pool building, the average content count is 1,500 to 2,400 words on your homepage. Again, while making sure it has the right keywords and phrases that your customers are actually searching for. So when I plugged in your content here from your homepage and threw it into my tool, I can see your homepage is sitting around only 331 words here. Now, if we jump over here into one of the top competitors that I'm seeing tonight, it looks like we've got Premier Pool and Spa here. When I went ahead and copied their content that they've got here on their homepage, I went ahead and plugged it in, and theirs is sitting around just over 1,700 words here on their homepage. And again, this is very beatable to be able to get that done. Now we're actually going to head over here into one of my tools here. It's called Ahrefs, a really cool tool. I've got your competition pulled in here, Premier Pools and Spas. I've got their subdomain pulled in here for all of their websites. So I do understand it is for all of their areas, but just kind of giving an idea of what type of keywords and overview that they're being found for here. And I guess just to kind of preface this tool as well, it is just a tool, but it's a really awesome tool. It essentially gives me behind the scene details that Google's looking at when it does come to ranking a site. And so I can get a pretty good idea of what's working well for you and for your competition. So I ran a quick scan of your competitor over here, and obviously again, where this is the whole website that it's pulling in here, you can see they've got a lot of keywords that are being found on their website, their whole website, and then the type of traffic that they're driving in. Obviously this is not specific for the St. George area, so I also wanted to show you in specifically here just some of the keywords that I am finding for in the St. George area, just for pool builds alone. Again, I'm seeing St. George pool builders. That key phrase is being searched 70 times every single month. Pool builders, St. George, Utah, also being searched 70 times per month. Pool builders in St. George, Utah, 40 times per month. St. George, Utah pool builders being searched 40 times per month. And again, St. George pool builders 10 times per month. Now, again, what would that do to your company and your business if you guys were getting all of that traffic, or even just a percentage of that traffic? And if we jump over here using the same tool again, jumping into my Ahrefs here, and we've got your website pulled in here, we can see how many keywords are being found here on your website and what kind of traffic yours is typically generating every single month. Now let's dive in specifically into your exact keywords here. Let's take a look at the St. George area. We can see what you're being found for. I can see you guys are ranking in a pretty high position for pool builders, St. George, Utah. Again, that one is being searched 70 times per month. You guys are ranking within the top 3 positions, which is great there. You can also see you're being found in this tool showing for pool supplies, St. George. Again, that's being searched 20 times per month. You're sitting on like second and third page of Google there. And then of course, this one's more generic, I think, for the city pool there in St. George, and same thing there. This looks less to do with somebody inquiring about pool builds, but more wanting to go swim there. And then you're also being found for Premier Pools, which is getting 0 search volume every month, and Premier Pools and Spas also 0 search volume every month. So again, just kind of cool to see what kind of potential volume you guys could get by making sure you are in the very top spots here on Google. Now, let's actually jump over as we start talking about the second thing that we're going to talk about, which is citations. Now, if we jump over here into Google, of course, I've got one of the top volume keywords plugged in here. The first things that we see pulled open here are the ads sections. And here's the thing about ads. Ads can work. They can just also be a money pit if your website's not dialed in, or like if customers are using an ad blocker. So just be careful to not burn through your money here on Google Ads until you know for sure that your site is going to convert. Now we're going to jump down below there into this coveted map section. This has a lot to do with the second important thing that we're going to talk about, which is citations. Now, you're probably asking yourself, great, but what is a citation and why do they matter? Well, great questions. So this is called the Google Map Pack. I'm sure you've seen it. You've probably used this section, and maybe you've even thought to yourself, how in the world can I get my business up here in these top 3 spots? Well, great question, and that is about what I'm going to show you here. So to get yourself to the top 3 spots here, the number one thing that Google looks at is a thing called citations. So what is a citation? Super simple, just your business name, address, and phone number listed on a bunch of online directories like these. Having citations helps Google to be able to verify you and then give relevance to your local business. So to help push you up here in the map pack, you just need to increase your citation game on top of optimizing your Google business profile here. When you get more citations than your competitors, especially from authoritative and industry-specific sites, your credibility boosts, you gain more trust from Google, and therefore pushing you to the top above your competition here. So you might be asking yourself, great, but how do I do that? Well, there are paid tools like WhiteSpark and BrightLocal that'll tell us exact directories that your competition here is listed on, and then we can go out and match what they are on. But of course, we don't want to just match them. We want to dominate them. So what we have seen is that with most pool building companies that rank to the top, we usually see them around 100 to 200 citations. So if you're pushed down below that, maybe second, third, fourth page, you might only have 10 to 30 citations. So we not only need to go get those that'll match your top competitors, but then we need to beat them out online. Now let's talk about the last thing that I wanted to go over with you today, which is backlinks, or often called link juice. And this third pillar will really help you to dominate here on Google. And actually, before I do keep going into backlinks, before I leave this section with citations, I do want to point out here where your website is not pulling into the top 3 areas here. The Google search results here, usually the map pack takes up about 40% of the search volume, whereas organic listings down here take up about 60% of the volume. So by not being here in the top 3 spots, you guys are missing out on the chance of 40% of search results and calls coming from this Google Map Pack in order to start a job. So really important to be able to gain this area so that you can gain that traffic coming in from those. Now again, we've got this same tool, or sorry, the same keyword plugged in here at the top. And we're gonna go ahead and scroll down here below the map pack. We get down into this area, which is called the organics listing section that I just mentioned. You can see in this current search, I see these guys ranking as number 1. I know I have seen you guys ranking sometimes number 1, 2, or 3, depending on the keyword in the area there. Now, again, we want to ideally be in the top 3 positions here because Google statistics have shown that the top 3 businesses get about 75% of your clicks. 75% of the clicks when people are searching. So maybe if you drop below that, customers might not even be making it down to your listing to be able to get there. Again, you'd really ideally want to be in this top spot, which I know I've seen you guys in that top spot, and the tool shows you around first, second, depending on the keyword in the area. But again, really being careful to optimize to get into this traction so you guys can be showing up here as well as your organic listing section. Now, again, talking about backlinks, this is what helps beat out your competition and to be able to show that you guys have the authority. Again, coming into my same tool over here, if we jump back over here into the overview, I can see you guys have 208 backlinks being pointed back to your website. It's a great start. You've got a lot of power being pointed back to you guys. So to continuing to keep that up, let's go ahead and just jump in here really quick. I do see that you've got a few backlinks that are not the highest quality, so sometimes that can actually hurt your rankings more. By having some of the metrics like that, let's go ahead and just take a look. It looks like you are building. This blue line shows that you are building these backlinks over time, which is great. But again, making sure you just to have the right quality over here. Again, quality over quantity here. Really important that you're just making sure that you get the very best of the best here to be able to show Google that you are the authority and that you're able to jump above any competitors and keep in that top ranking position here again. Again, being able to beat out your competition in this aspect is very beatable with time. Again, getting you here to the very top of Google in this area organically and getting you up here into the maps listing so you can dominate on the local market there, it is not magic. It is just a tried and true method, and I have shown you that exact method here today. Again, closing, the 3 things that you could do today to grow your online presence is first, focusing on your content, increasing this homepage to at least the 1,500 words, using the right keywords and phrases so people are actually being able to be finding you for what you guys do. Second, citations. Really important to get your name, address, and phone number listed on as many online directories. That way you can find placement up here for your business, and you can start dominating 40% of that search call to click volume up here in this map section. And then finally, continuing to always increase and get more quality sites pointing back to you guys to show Google that you are the authority. Again, you might be wondering at this point, okay, well, what now? Well, great question. You really have a few options. First, if you feel like you cannot handle any more clients every month, you guys are doing great just where you're at and you're not looking to grow, that is absolutely fair. If you could just send me a quick note telling me that you watched the video and tell me your thoughts about it, I would really appreciate your feedback. On the other hand, if you are ready to grow, you can take this blueprint and implement these 3 strategies on your very own today. I gave you the exact formula that businesses do pay tons of dollars to have, and it is all yours to use to help your company. Now, if you found this information valuable, and if you're still one of those business owners to still raise their hands for the most personalized and effective route, go ahead and respond to my email. We'll set up a time to chat. Again, my name is Seleni, and I look forward to your email.